accepted you, it seemed like these things were in my life all the time. And I just want, I just want this relationship with you. And why am I having to go through all of this again? I just want to forget about these things. I asked for deliverance. I asked that God would, push away the different things, take them out of my life. But, in going through the struggles, God always has a plan. And I think what he was trying to show me is that, hey, you accepted me on January 22nd, and you did go all in. I mean, you were doing the things that you thought you needed to, but there's more to it than that. And so, I look back at the last 2.5 years, and like I said, Will and I have been talking, and he knows a lot of my story. And, I look back, and where are there different places in my life, where I've had to make decisions to go all in. One thing, my family. I didn't trust God. I thought He was a vengeful and a hateful God, and I didn't think that He wanted me to be happy due to certain things that had happened in my life. When I was in high school, a boy that was very close to me, he was 8, I was 16, he was like my little brother, and he was hit by a car. So that, I was like, God, why would you take someone out of this life? Here I am, chasing the girls and drinking, all these things. And you have an 8-year-old boy who's telling his friends about you and asking his friends to come to church and all these things. Why are you taking him? Why didn't you take me? And I couldn't figure that out. And then I came to know Christ, and I was like, all right, God, here I am. But I never gave Him my family. And it took an event in my life. My son fell through our banister. Got a loft or whatever that overlooks hardwood floors, and he was up on just one of those toy farmhouses or whatever. They said 1.5 feet off floor or whatever, and it rolled on him and shot him through the picket. And he came down, and there's a counter and a trash can, and he ended up in the middle of the floor. And my wife called me and told me this. We ended up going to the doctor. He's fine. But I guess that was about 1.5 years ago. But it was that day when I realized if He wanted to, He could have taken my son. And I honestly don't know where I would be today if He had done that. But He didn't. And I learned that day that God is in control, and He loves my family, and He loves me. And I gave my family to Him. And I can tell you today that if something did happen to one of my children or my wife, I know that it's because of God's plan. It's not because He's that vengeful, hateful God. So I went all in with my family, and I said, God, they're yours, and I trust you. So for me, it took that, and to understand about His love. One of the other things that I had to learn about was my identity. I was a coach. That's what I did. I was a coach for 17 years. You asked me what I did, I coached. And I was a school teacher too, but I coached. I'm a football coach. And, it seemed like for the past 2 years, when football season would come around, God and I just parted ways. Wasn't able to come to the men's group. Wasn't able to spend time with my family. Wasn't able to do a lot of things that I knew I should be doing. As far as building relationships with other men, building relationships with Christ, working on building my relationship with Christ. And so I went through 2 years, 2 football seasons after coming to know Christ. And some of the guys that are in the room, they've gone with me through those times. and they would just see God, and I go, and I would start to have to deal with some of the same issues I did before I coming to know Him, and I realized if I truly was going to follow Christ and I was going to be all in with Him, that's something that I was going to have to give up. And I know some guys can do it. Some guys, there's a lot of great, I'm sure, great Christ-following coaches. But for me, it didn't work. And so last January, there's even the head coaching job was open. But you know what? I didn't apply for it. I resigned. I resigned from football. And I told them why. I said, I need to work on my relationship with Jesus Christ, and I need to work on my relationship with my family. When I coach football, I can't do either one. And so I believe God honored me with that decision. 3 weeks later, they came back and said, hey, what about doing middle school football, 7th and 8th grade football? I'm like, what's that look like? You work Monday through Thursday. There's no Friday, Saturday, or Sunday responsibility. So I was able to continue to coach. My wife and I prayed about it. I was able to continue coaching. We dress out about 48 kids every day now for football practice. And God is really working, I think. I've been able to witness to one of the coaches, kind of share my story a little bit. And that's just another area in my life where I had to go all in with Christ. And so for me, it all of a sudden, instead of this, I came to know Christ, here I am, Lord, let's go. It started to be this process. And so that brings me to the past couple weeks. Going to church, we've all heard about tithing, right? And so I realized, and I know that the one place I haven't been all in on is with my money. And I've been meeting with a group of guys, and it's funny how things, you hear things your whole life being preached from the pulpit or whatever, and you just kind of blow them off. And as you read the Bible, stuff becomes real to you, right? So in all the years that I'd gone to church and everything, I didn't know this, but I want to read something for you guys.